let's go ahead and get into it. We're going to talk about Amber Heard sees increased Aquaman 2 screen time in test screenings. And Mary would tell you that this is a good idea, given the high profile.
Right. I was saying I would be more likely to go see Aquaman 2 just because of the spectacle of getting to see her act like someone she's not.
And I guess like
see her play someone in a loving relationship. I don't know. It'd be interesting.
Yeah, like
I want to know how good she is at acting because I never saw Rum Diaries.
She's you know.
I mean, she
really.
doesn't have to be good. She's good looking, so she's kind of been coasting on that for a while.
She will have till her early 30s or till how old is she now? Does anybody
she's
know?
Already in her late 30s.
Not late 30s.
She's 36.
Okay, so she's a little bit older than me. Okay, well, she's still good looking. She's still very good looking. So it says, sorry, Johnny Depp fans, those rumors Amber Heard has been cut from Aquaman 2 may be totally off. Again, this is rumor, so always remember that a lot of people get mad when you cover this type of stuff because rumors to me are interesting because it's always funny to see which ones end up being accurate, which ones don't.
Well, there are like Twitter accounts that specialize in just dropping like fake DMs that they're apparently in with executives that it's just entirely fake.
And some people like Midnight's Edge on YouTube got like all of Rise of Skywalker right. Like some of them have really good track records, but not everyone.
It's possible that they're kind of doing like a test screening type focus group thing where they'll release some information that they may or may not end up going with just to see if the crowd likes it. And if they do, then they'll go with it. If they don't, then they'll say, hey, we never meant it. We never were serious about it to begin with. And
it could be one of many test screenings where they one run with more of her, one with less of her, and they see which one. That's the whole point of the focus group, of the concept of that segment of the industry, right? Is to see which one tests the best. A lot of the best movies in history have been tested and changed heavily through the test screening process.
Yeah, the cutting room floor, they call it.
Yep.
At some point, if you cut down her screen time to too little, then it makes even less sense than the original plan. So
I think she's super hot and popular right now, regardless of the idiocy that she's just displayed in the courtroom. But I mean, she's such a popular name that they have an opportunity.
Popular, good, but popular as in people like she has very high name recognition.
Infamous,
right now.
They would call it.
So it says users on Twitter are reporting about the Aquaman 2 test screenings, where one user in particular tweeted that they just got a confirmation that the latest test screening features Amber Heard from start to finish, with Mera's screen time in the flick around 20 to 25 minutes in length. Now, before, we've had several times where at one point they said it got cut back to less than 10 minutes.
Or entirely
cut out of the film. I never bought that one to begin with.
I didn't either.
But I could have seen them trying to limit her to less than 10 minutes. Now, the real question, my biggest question will be, how do they use her in marketing?
Because
that's going to be a big part of both her and Ezra Miller are going to have to worry about the marketing arm of these movies that they're in.
Like a press junket? Yeah, I don't know. I mean, people don't understand that actors are not paid for like how many minutes they're shown in the movie. They're paid for the actual hours that they worked. So
plus they work, usually salary, and plus like a lot of it's like they'll film dozens of scenes that never make it onto the screen. That's the editor really is the most like the last storyteller in the film. He's the one who kind of decides. Him and the director
like
work together.
Photos and things like that.
Yeah.
What they should do for promotion is get a giant billboard with Amber in costume standing above like a slumped body that looks like Johnny Depp from behind.
Slightly, yeah.
Just like she finished him off like a villain or something.
We've been saying that.
Or looks like Captain Jack Sparrow.
Yeah,
we need Aquaman and Pirates of the Caribbean crossover.
They could do that, and Amber and Johnny would both make millions off of that. And so would the studio right now.
I'm telling you, man, they end up getting back together
Rum
in like 10
Diaries
years.
Part 2.
In like 10 years, they end up getting back together, and all of society's like, all that was for nothing.
Exactly.
All of that was for nothing.
Then you'll know it's a simulation.
Yep. We've had several incidences lately. We can't talk about the one yesterday, but we've had several where there's like things that keep happening where we're just like, this can't be real anymore. Like, we have to be living in some type of altered,
some kind of
computer-generated simulation where everything is now at the whim of some dude who's just trolling us.
It's the electric universe.
It's got to be.
We're getting pranked right now.
It feels that way sometimes. Like, too much is going on where I'm just like, that can't be real. This can't, even the Ezra Miller story, in a horrible way, I'm like, that can't be the real world. So
just a bunch of atoms spinning, man. Well, it's something not even smaller than that, really. I don't know.
So it says it was previously said that Amber Heard had only around 10 minutes of screen time. We got a super chat in there. There it goes. Thank you. It says the head of DC Films, Walter Hamada, did testify at the Johnny Depp trial that Amber Heard tested well with audiences from the first Aquaman movie. So it could be possible that Warner Brothers is testing the waters to see if including Heard will make the movie all the better, as certainly some fans are expecting to see the actress and the character. Now, the big thing here is, so she tested well with audiences, but did not have good chemistry with Jason Momoa, who's the star of the movie. So that kind of puts the studio in a weird conundrum, right? So the studio has their vision for what they want the movie to be, and she's not, for whatever reason, maybe it's her, maybe it's him, maybe it's a combination of the both of them, but they just don't seem to mesh well on screen. You're an actor. You understand that chemistry plays a large role in your ability to get a scene across, right? Especially when they're supposed to be intimate together.
Yeah, I think some mistakes that actors make is they want to come in and be the best and steal the show, but really your main goal as an actor is to make your co-stars look better. So you may even be invisible on the wall. No one even looks at you when the scene's going on, but if everyone else looks even more awesome because you're there, you're going to get hired again.
One of my favorite actors' name is Clark Peters. He was on The Wire. He had a really good role. He's one of those actors that, like on The Wire, he was a main character, but in a lot of other things, he'll do long arcs where he's like a guest star. And he's one of those actors that whenever he's on screen, he elevates whoever he's performing with, because he has this almost, it's like a mixture of Denzel Washington and Morgan Freeman-esque personality in the way he holds himself and carries himself, and he can kind of transform between roles, but he always elevates the dialogue. And he's one of those actors that can do both good guy and bad guy.
I bet it's because he's listening to the other person, because I think a lot of mistakes actors make is they'll be thinking about their next line as the other person's talking, and they're just waiting to speak, and then when they get done hearing the noise, they do their line, and that's maybe what Amber was doing. They say they have no chemistry. Maybe she wasn't listening to Jason, really taking in the things he was saying.
I could see that being the fact of, like, especially with young, really like actors that are really in the prime of their career, and they're kind of feeling themselves a little bit too much, and it becomes less about the work and more about their place. And granted, she wasn't the star of that movie. I would actually expect that to happen more to the lead of the movie. But Jason Momoa just seems like such a good guy, Greg, that like he is. He's like you can't imagine. And like even when
he wants everyone to like him. I don't know if he's a good person.
Even when him and Lisa Bonet broke up, they like both spoke really highly of each other. Like, we're breaking up.
I thought Game of Thrones was awesome in the beginning, and I think thinking back, I attributed a lot of it to Jason. Yeah. He was so good as Khal Drogo. I mean, so good. That was just so. It was society shifting. It was like and shook the fabric of what people thought art was.
He's kind of very built for that type of role.
He's a specimen.
He's got that on-screen presence that works well. So he can actually overcome, like, say her dialogue isn't like, she's not delivering lines the way they need her to, or she doesn't have the energy that he does. Maybe it's a little bit colder. He has so much screen presence it can kind of work past that. But what they're saying here is essentially that she tested well with audience despite chemistry issues with him. And I think the other big thing here is that they've got 9 months until the release of this movie, which can give the public a lot of time to cool on disliking her. I mean, I don't know how many people will, but I'm saying that like how we feel about it now will be very different than how the general public, not us.
I just think there might be an appeal in hate watching her.
And
if it comes out with her having more screen time, we're definitely watching it and reviewing it.
Yep. Oh no, we're going to see it.
I'm so morbidly curious.
Yep. Rogan made a pretty interesting comment about her, and he was like, I don't want any pain for this girl. I feel bad for her. I think she needs to go into the jungle and take a bunch of ayahuasca and then come back transformed and not a liar. Yeah. And I thought, wow, I wish I'd gotten out ahead on that one, Joe. I wish I'd been the first one that forgave her.
Well, maybe she did that already, and it made her into a liar.
I don't think ayahuasca works that way, but I don't know. I still haven't taken it yet. I've taken a small dose of it.
Can't work backwards. Like, she started out really truthful. Like, she was actually can't lie.
Ayahuasca did this to me.
And then now she's just like, I can't help it. I just lie about everything now.
Don't blame the DMT.
Don't blame. Yeah. So I maybe.
But acting is lying.
I mean, it is. I'm never.
I think they're all liars.
I'm never a huge fan of that argument where like you pretend for a living. I'm like, yes, that is true, but most actors, at least the more pretentious ones, is that acting is a search for truth, trying to find the truth of a character, right? And I do believe that the most diehard committed actors believe that. Do I believe that most young actors these days believe that? No, probably not. But theater nerds are like that. They're very introspective, and they're very and they have to be very they have to learn to be unguarded about themselves, because you have to put all of yourselves out there in front of people, which is not a pleasant thing to do. So I think a part of it is that search for truth, but it's just most celebrities make it very hard to want to give them the benefit of the doubt that they actually believe that.
The studios will incentivize people to lie. Not necessarily. They'll incentivize people to admit the truth. Like that, when you go out as an actor on a press junket or something, they don't want you saying exactly what you think. If you have criticisms about the movie, they don't want you to mention it. They want you to lie and say it's great and to sell tickets. So then it gets in the mind like, I'm supposed to be lying. I'm supposed to be doing
all
this to enhance my career.
Yeah.
My favorite part is whenever you watch like a trailer for like a TV version of a trailer, not the ones that they put on the internet now, and it says like, and it lists like a bunch of quotes from newspaper articles, and all it says is something like dazzling, and it's like from a line that says only dazzling shot in an awful movie, but they just clip dazzling and put it in there. Like, it's like they can lie and they can stretch the truth and manipulate it to fit anything they want. It's not that they want you to lie, it's that they want you to focus on the good aspects. Even if there was 90 bad aspects to this movie and 10 good ones, we just need you to focus on the good ones, because they're selling a product.
And they'll call it discretion, I think, and not lying.
Yeah.
Be discreet.
Plus, I mean, if you're the actor and you want, like, say it's really the director's fault or it's the studio's fault that this movie failed, you don't want to be the guy known as the guy who went out and ragged on your coworkers afterwards. I understand that. That's just survival of the fittest within the industry. They're not going to be the one who just goes out and be like, yeah, working with this guy was awful and making this movie was bull, and like they're just not going to want to do that because they want to make more movies. They want to make more money.
What I'm getting at is just that Amber Heard is a role, and people watched the trial for the same reasons that they're going to watch Aquaman 2, just because she's in it. And
somebody pointed out something really interesting the other day. They said nobody cares. Like, Aquaman made almost $1 billion and nobody I've seen it and I remember literally nothing of it other than seeing Jason Momoa and being like, that guy was born to play roles like this. I can't wait for his weird like post superhero career when he gets older and he has to play like, I guess not really. Dolph Lundgren still plays like big burly characters and stuff like that. So he was in Aquaman. So it's I guess I would love to see him try to do like less.
I see him as a gray-haired Poseidon.
Ooh, there you go. He could do that down the line when they make that movie again. I don't know if they'll ever actually.
Oh, they should do a movie where he's like a Tibetan Sherpa.
Yeah. Well,
he's separated from the pack and has to like.
He had a show on Netflix
that
nobody watched called Frontier that also seemed like right up his alley because of his big scruff demeanor and everything. I never saw Frontier, but apparently that was like got a couple of seasons, but nobody really ever talked about it. But Aquaman doesn't really have much buzz. She has more buzz than Aquaman does, so it would be ridiculous to cut her out of the movie entirely.
People literally think that if you cut her out of the movie, she doesn't make money off of it.
No, she'll still get paid. She's like
likely people don't understand how this stuff works.
Yep. So also I want to go down here and it says, you want to read the super chat, the two super chats there because there was one that I thought was very interesting.
Caper2X said, I thought that Mera was meant to be evil in the comics.
Went evil in the comics. I don't know that for sure. I was not, Aquaman was not part of my pull list back in the day, but.
It wasn't part of almost anyone's.
Well, it's because Aquaman in the comics is nowhere near as cool as Jason Momoa.
He has like an orange and green outfit from 1940s.
And he's like blonde and dorky looking. Yeah, he's
and he like dives out of the water.
Yeah,
always very weird to me.
Nobody actually thought he was cool. Like when somebody's like, Jason Momoa doesn't look like anything like Aquaman. I'm like, but who actually wants to look like Aquaman? That's not what they want. They don't want that. Yeah.
Hava Owen said, this group of minds is something I can get behind. Time for another hit show, folks. Also, give Mary a break, guys. Come on, no simping.
Right. Is that true? You want no simping, Mary?
No simping.
No simping. It's bad. All right, so it says the trial also saw Aquaman 2 spoilers revealed surrounding Mera, where it said that Mera appears at the beginning of the film and then returns at the end to wrap things up. From what I believe, they said that she gives birth at the end of it to like
on maternity leave.
So we'll see where that goes, but she's definitely not going to be written out of the movie. So we'll see. I would be interesting what the chat thought because I'm guessing like there was a comment like I always have to like minimize the chat when I'm running the show, otherwise my ADHD kicks in and I start reading everything. And the first comment that came up just based on the title of this episode without us before we went live was like, no, not Amber Heard, she's the villain.
Thank you.
So, like, I think that a lot of people are not huge fans of her, but will probably go see it anyway.
Amber Heard redemption arc, is
us
that
included?
I'm all for a redemption arc if she could.
No,
but, like,
nobody else wants that. That's just us.
I love redemption. I think that's one of the things that Hollywood and society right now is missing big time is the concept of actually giving people a chance to redeem themselves.
Yeah.
And a lot of people in our position who have been against the idea of like you can't just box everyone into one category. You can't just believe all women. You can't just believe all men. A lot of people who felt like that things have been against them for a long time are hard up for empathy and sympathy right now because they've just been felt like it's been going against them for so long. And I get that, but I am a sucker for a good redemption arc for anyone. You just have to be willing to let yourself down a lot.
I feel like that's what they're going for with this new Dior ad of Johnny Depp. But I can't watch it without being cynical.
Yeah. Yep.
It's just
Dior,
over the
I haven't
top.
seen it yet. Is it like him modeling?
Yeah, he was famously denied a deal with Dior. This was mentioned in the trial, and this was one of his claims of career damages from the op-ed. So now they just did a cologne ad with him. It was very. Should we show it?
I'm pulling it up.
Is
right
that
now.
like copywritten?
I think
I don't
as long
know.
as if it's from so here it is right here.
Yeah.
Well,
it's very over the top.
Oh, let me get the volume.
In the wilderness, fearless and human, Sauvage, the new elixir, Dior.
Available at Macy's.
Hopefully we don't get copyrighted for that. But
He didn't look puffy in that.
No. I don't know if that was
when
old.
was that recorded? I was wondering about that.
That's a good question.
Like
I
8
don't
years
know.
ago or something.
Maybe they released the one that they scrapped.
I don't know if it's like Johnny 10 years ago and Johnny today is like the alcoholism and the puffy face.
Yeah,
it's like
dude.
he doesn't look. I mean, I can't say he doesn't look good. He still looks like a good. I guess I don't know.
Well, he's not like a model or anything. He never was.
Yeah, he looks like a lot of other people with that puffy face syndrome, where like
Yep.
the cheeks are bigger than the eyes and the eyes look all
Yeah.
sunk
He's
back.
getting older, like
And the
anything.
age.
It is what it
it's
is.
harder
I think
to
it's the
take care of
alcohol.
yourself as you're going
For sure.
One thing I am very thankful for is that like as bad as it was for me in my 20s, catching it early and getting clean before you're past that age where you can kind of get healthy again. Like that was that it would have been very bad later down the line.
Yeah.
So yeah. So I can't take Johnny Depp seriously in that thing either, but I am happy for him. I am happy that he's happy, given that he had all that stuff happen to him. Thanks for watching this clip, guys. If you want to see full episodes or follow us on social media, links are in the description below. Bye.
Bye.